It's that time, so let's do the thing. It's a little breezy today, so bear with me. So here in our first front bed, we got our tomatoes in last week. Put some stakes in for them. So I'm gonna have to tie those up soon because they are getting tall. And I just used the cups that they came in to mark their names because I don't have anything really to make some name tags right now, but that works. And then all that random greens that we had planted in this bed before, some of them are still growing. We've got the spinach in there, that's coming along. And then there was a salad mix here that had baby kales in it, and those are pretty much ready to harvest right now. And as you can see, there's also some weeding to do. So I'm gonna have to weed down there and probably throw some more seeds in. In the next bed here, we have the Brussels sprouts here and the turnips. Turnips definitely need to be thinned out a little bit. The Brussels sprouts are coming along. And then next door we have the kale. So as you can see, there's a few different varieties of kale coming in. You can definitely see the difference now. So I got my fancy kale, and then my curly green kale, and then my purple kale here. Next to the kale we have the onions. We planted these from onion sets this year because we couldn't find any onion seeds. So we'll try them out and see what happens. So far they're looking alright. Next we have our cucumber bed. It's mostly just weeds right now, but we did plug some seeds in here just to see what would happen. I think it was a little bit early and they're probably stunted because although they are progressing, they're doing so extremely slowly. So I do have a couple plant starts that I got at the local farmer's market, and I'm going to put those in this bed as well. I'll leave these guys just to see what happens, but I doubt they'll grow. And remember our sunflower fortress? Well, it looks like it's working because everyone in there is just about touching the fan grate. It looks like, oh man, it looks like almost all of them actually went too. Oh, that's cool. They're starting to get their second set of leaves. Really, that's all we need to happen before we can uncover them. That one looks like it's doing pretty good there. So maybe a few more days for these, and then we're going to have to pull the grate off because they will be touching it. And hopefully from there nothing will eat them, and we'll actually have sunflowers finally this year. So that's our first row of beds that we just went through there. And we've got a heirloom tomato here. I can't remember which variety it is. Well, it's not very helpful. But there it is. And then if we come around to the back here, we have the corn, our experimental bed here. So as you can see, our little sprouty guys are going. I'd say that the germination of this bed is probably 40%. So what we did is we planted really, really early, maybe 50%. And we covered this bed with a poly tarp on a frame, which is this thing here. So we hoped that by keeping it warm and moist early in the spring, we could possibly get an early crop. And I mean, a lot of it did pop up, so we'll see what happens. And then the bed next door here, we planted this at the time that corn is supposed to be planted here, usually around May 12th or 15th. So we did plant in that window and we just left it raw, just as we would if we were planting out in a field and no covering it or anything. So this experiment is going to show us the difference between these two methods of germination and everything, and if it's worth it to even use poly and plant early. And across from the corns, we have our wonderful pea wall. It's growing up the rainbow trellis here. It's almost to the top, well, maybe about halfway. So we might have to add some more layers to our rainbow trellis here. That's just recycled baling twine that we used, and couple of posts. Really didn't cost us anything, and it's gonna hold up our peas. And then right on the other side here, we have our giant spinach. Like, I'm not kidding you, these leaves are huge and they're really, really tasty. So we've been having spinach with pretty much every meal this week, on all of our sandwiches, in with eggs, everything, you name it. It's really good in my lentil soup too. But it's about due to be cut again. I'm probably going to plant some more of these if these don't go anymore. But it looks like we can probably get another grow out and cut from these. So we'll leave those going. Next to the peas and spinach, we have carrots. They're doing pretty good. Getting a little bit taller. Also need to be weeded, probably only one more time, and then they'll crowd out the bed from growing any more weeds. And then, oh yeah, my favorite beds here. This one's my mixed greens here. Got collard greens, rainbow Swiss chard, some romaine lettuces, and then our mesclun mix, which is starting to grow out now. It's starting to bolt and whatnot too, as you can see there. But the rabbits love these as snacks, so I've been just kind of harvesting the bigger grown out leaves and giving those to the rabbits, and they just love it. And then that leaves us all the smaller stuff there. That's still delicious for us to have in salads and sandwiches and whatnot. And the animals get a treat. And then right next to the greens, we've got the beets, which we can also harvest for greens. They're getting quite thick now. We could probably thin out some of these greens. Oops. We can steam those like spinach too, and well, kind of the same texture, except for it tastes like beets. There's a couple weeds in there, but they're filling out nicely, so there's not really a whole lot of weed pressure in this bed. You boys want a snack? Hey, you guys want a snack? Yeah, good boys. Good boys. Oh, he's in tight. You want some lettuce too, Clover? Hey, my dude? What's that? You want some? Are you just gonna show it some love? Well, you can have that, okay? While we're in here, let's check out our seed sprouting trays. Oh, you can see that one sprouted there. That's a golden zucchini. Awesome. What do we got here? Red curry squash. Yep, those guys are going. 2 of them. Oh, no, all 3 are going. We have acorn squash. Oh, we got leaves. Alright, those guys need to go in some dirt. Nothing from the butternut yet. Oh, one of them is going. We got definitely some leaves there. Not sure what they are. Some sort of tomato. I think those are the pink ones. These are the yellow ones. Also leaves. Cantaloupe. One of them's got a little bit of a sprout coming out. And that is definitely a sprout. Oh, Andy's watermelon. Awesome. Yeah, I've got a couple tomato plants in here that I had to pot up. They are going to go in the neighbor's greenhouse. There are a couple of Russian varieties that I got from a friend at a farmer's market. Anna Russian and also, and then also from the market, we got some zucchini plants and some cucumbers that I was talking about. They're going to go over in that other bed. Let's head back out here for a second here. Okay, so the front bed, I've got a couple tomatoes planted and some of my herbs. I believe that's the holy basil. And then some of my parsley and the basil. And then we've got a cherry variety tomato plant and aroma. And then just some random discarded seed trays of things that didn't really go. But I've got a use for those. And then over here, our strawberries are doing really good. We've only had to pull out minor buttercups here and there, but looks like that our clover, ground clover, is starting to come in here. Clover, ground cover. Yeah. There we go. So you can see those are sprouting up nice. It looks like we've got a couple of berries forming there. A bunch of flowers on that one too. And then in my planter box, we've got the radishes right outside our door there for snacking. And then a little herb container here, some buttercups busting through. Those need to go in there. My little baby lavender. And then on the back porch, we've got some plants that are getting used to the weather here. Hardening off, as they call it. Those ones are getting blown quite a bit. Those tomatoes in the cups are huge and they need to be potted up today, so that's going to be one of my projects. I love my lilacs. Bright pink ones, and then I've got purple ones over there in the bucket. Some flowers from our empress tree, which is, I don't know if you can really see it, it's backlit right now, but it's just big purple flowers right now, and then it'll leaf out afterwards. It looks like our cucamelons are going. These are the tomato seedlings from my friend back east. Andy, thank you for those. And the beans haven't come up yet. This bucket's going to have a different variety of tomatoes in it. I mean, not tomatoes, strawberries. That's what I meant. Strawberries, so that we can pick them while we're enjoying our beautiful pool. This bed here we ended up replanting with beans. It wasn't that long ago, so they're probably not going yet. But we flame weeded first, and for the most part it kept everything down, except for this junk. And then over here, squashes are looking okay, but we're probably going to put the zucchinis in this bed because I don't think those are going to go. There's the potatoes. They're getting pretty big. Really big, actually. And then, you know, this is looking less and less like a squash seed. I don't know what it is. It might be a sunflower. I don't think it's a squash. And if it is a sunflower, I have no idea how it got here. Oh, but look at that. That's new. That looks more like a squash seed. Interesting. Well, I guess this is a mystery bed for now. Our glorious rhubarb. It's getting pretty big. We could harvest off of it, but we more just grow it because we enjoy what it looks like. Maybe when it spreads next year or the year after, we'll get a good crop out of it. Poo pile. Our freshly rototilled last year's poo pile into a nice long bed. Our melons are gonna go. And then our leftover potatoes over here are doing really good. Quite a bit of potatoes for some leftovers. There, now you can see the empress tree. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for coming on a tour of the garden with me.